Welcome guys. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up a multi-vendor settings for FlutterFlow and Firebase when you're creating something similar to the marketplace in Upwork, or marketplace in Fiverr, or marketplace in Jumia, right? So if at all you don't already know, so in Upwork you can actually get to sign up as a technical talent, someone who knows how to do different things like maybe software development, digital marketing, and you can be connected to clients that want to hire you. So in Upwork, for instance, you have like let's say 3 kinds of users, right? So one is like the admin, the owners of the platform. Then we also have the clients, the people that come on the platform to look for technical talents to hire. And then we also have the talents themselves. So that's more like the multi-vendor, right? So multi-user, multi-vendor kind of arrangement in their platform. So I'm going to take you through a very simplified tutorial that will help you understand how to go ahead and set up both FlutterFlow and Firebase for a marketplace that has like multiple vendors. Okay, so now also in Fiverr, for instance, it's the same thing, right? So we have businesses who are called the buyers, and we have the talents who are called the sellers, and of course we have the owners of the Fiverr organization, which is the admin. So that's like 3 different kinds of users who are always on this platform, right? So they definitely see different dashboards. They are given access to different things. They don't get to have access to everything simultaneously. All right, so although on Fiverr you can actually get to switch from becoming a seller to becoming a buyer. All right, so it's really cool. Okay, so the same thing with Jumia here. Jumia, of course, Jumia is it's a big marketplace where you can actually get to buy different things. You can buy products, gadgets, anything you want to buy, you can buy them from Jumia, right? So and then there's another platform called AliExpress, and these are all marketplaces that have multiple vendors on the platform. So how can we build something like Jumia, like Fiverr, like Upwork? Okay, how can we do it in FlutterFlow and Firebase? Okay, so this is going to still be beginner friendly. Yes, so but I expect that you must have already gone through some basics. So if at all you have not, there's a link attached to this video, to the description under this video. You will see a link to the introduction to FlutterFlow, both the introduction and the reintroduction to FlutterFlow, so you can just go ahead and engage in it and have an oversight of what the platform does. Okay, so but this is still going to be very simple. All right, so let's see what we're about doing here. So I just created a simple flow. So this is multi-vendor setup. Okay, so I just created a simple user flow. It's not like the conventional user flow, but it's just something that can make it more descriptive so you can understand what we're doing. So for instance, the user gets to sign in and register. All right, they use their email and password to do that, and then let's say this was done during the time that they are trying to register on the platform. And of course, when they are trying to sign in as well, they will also use email and password to sign in. So when they try to sign in, automatically in the backend, because of what they did at the beginning, right? Let's say when they were registering, they registered as a talent, right? So it gets stored in the database that this particular user with this particular email is a talent, right? Okay, so now when they are trying to sign into the platform, it will, like, we're gonna do a backend that will automatically select their role, like what they actually selected when they were registering. It will select their role, and then if at all they are talents, if they had signed up as a talent, it will take them to the talent dashboard. If they were signed up as a client, it will take them to the client dashboard. And if they were signed up as a founder, it will take them to a founder dashboard. Okay, so now I know you might be confused here. What is founder? So I am making these more like an example of a multi-vendor platform. So we have clients who are trying to hire talents, and we have founders who are trying to find talents they can, you know, collaborate with on different projects. Okay, so that means we now have like 3 categories of users: talents, clients, and founders. Okay, so that's basically like it, and I will just go ahead and show you how to just set up a multi-vendor you know, scenario in your FlutterFlow and Firebase. We're going to do it from scratch, but before we do it from scratch, let's see how it actually looks like, so we can like have an idea of what we are doing. Okay, so this is the platform. It's our brand. It's called Talcon. So I'm just gonna use this as a demo to show you what's happening. Before I test this, let me take you to the backend. That's the Firebase. So here we have users, right? We have users, and we also have user details, but we won't really make use of that. So but we have users, and then I created one document, and then the document, this is the document. It shows here that this is the email of the user. The founder role is false because we're using a Boolean here. I will explain when I'm setting up the Firebase all over again. The talent row here is true, and then this is the user ID. This is the client's role is false. So that means the only one that is true here is the talent. So we should only be taken to the talent dashboard if at all we try to sign in. So let's try to sign in. This is already the details, so I'll just go ahead and then sign in. When I sign in, it's going to take me to, you see here, Talcon talent. It takes me to the dashboard of the talents, right? So here they can do what talents alone are supposed to be able to do. The businesses can also see only their, you know, they'll be able to see only their own dashboard, for instance. Okay, so let's go ahead and then log out. So I will just log out, then I'll come back here to the Firebase, then I'll change the talent from being true, I'll change it to false. All right, then I update it, then I'll turn these, don't forget that was talent at first, so we now want to make the client to be true. So then we'll go ahead and update it, and then now I will go back here and try to sign in. So now I sign in, it takes me to client. All right, so that's basically it. Don't mind the picture here, I didn't bother to change any of these things here. Okay, so what I really wanted you to just see is the top here, because this is basically like the design. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. So if you come here to the FlutterFlow dashboard for this project, you will see that I have a couple of pages here. I have the client's page, right? I have the client's page. There's a client's page, it's just like this. I have the founder page, and it's like this, and then I have the home page. This one I didn't include it for the entire project, but this is what the client is supposed to see. But I just went ahead and made sure that they only get to see like, the whole idea is for you to do a setup such that the user gets to see only what you want them to see. Like when they sign up, when they register as a particular user, right? So when they are signing in, they should be able to see what you want them to see. Okay, so that's basically it. All right, then here is the login screen, and then here is the onboarding. We're gonna have an onboarding screen where we're gonna have something like this. So hire vetted talents, so they can click to hire talents. So if a user clicks on hire talent, it will authenticate in the backend, in the database, that okay, this person is actually a client, because if you're trying to hire talent, you're a client. And then we have other other screens here. So if at all you're trying to hire talents, okay, yes, you are a client. If you're trying to this is another one, if you're trying to get more visibility and get hired now, then you are a talent. So then the last one, let's see, the last one here is if you're trying to find co-founders, all right, then you are, you're a founder, a startup founder. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the entire settings. We're going to create a couple of screens. We're going to create a screen for talents. We'll create a screen for onboarding, for login, for home, yes, and well, the home will just be empty because I will tell you why that's gonna be like that. We just want to make a situation whereby when your users sign up as a particular user, right? When they are logging in, they should be able to see the screens that only they should be able to see depending on their role. Okay, so then we have here clients. So these are like the basic pages that we're going to work on. All right, so let's go ahead and create it. So I will click here. Okay, that's not really giving me what I want. I will come back here to where I have this, and I will just say FlutterFlow, and then it will take me to FlutterFlow. Okay, what is wrong with my internet? Okay, let me try to turn on my VPN. I think I might be having issues because of that. Okay, all right, sorry about that speed. I think we should get to proper speed now. Okay, so let's see, we should be in speed now. Okay, so I'm gonna create another project. Let's call it multivan. All right, let's just call the application multivan. So I will click here to create application. All right, so I'll call it multivan. I like calling, well, it's okay, we can just make it, yeah, so multivan. So that's the name of the application. And then so I'll click on create blank, and then from there you don't really need to tamper with lots of this. Just click on next step, and then now you need to provide your Firebase product ID. And how do you go about doing that? It's quite simple. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to our Firebase. So I will click here to go to like this entire side of the Firebase, more like the dashboard where you see all your projects. Okay, so I'll click to add a project. Then I'll give my project a name. I'll call it what I called it at the other side. So multivan. I'll click on continue. Disable Google Analytics, create project. Okay, so we're gonna wait for a couple of seconds, and then it will completely provision the resources for this project on Firebase. Okay, so while we are waiting for that, I hope you're really excited about this, because while I was learning how to use FlutterFlow, right, I did try to find a video tutorial on this same thing, but I couldn't get it. So even if you check around, you might not see it. All right, so this is like a very, very important video for your career as a FlutterFlow developer, right, a mobile app developer. So I really want you to be excited, because this is like really going to be very good for you, because most of you might be building applications that have multiple users, and you might have been wondering how can you set that up. Okay, so but this is a simple video on how to set it up. So for us to get the project ID, you click on the settings icon here, click on project settings, and then copy the project ID here. All right, and then we take it to, I'm gonna have to close a couple of things so I don't get confused. So I'm gonna close this, and okay, so I'm gonna paste my project ID here. Now if I go ahead and click on connect, I'm gonna have an error. So I need to come here to users and permission, and then add Firebase as an editor. Okay, it's just like one of those prerequisites you should be doing. Add this, add as an editor, done, add member. Okay, so now that I've done that, whatever error I was supposed to experience, I'm not going to experience it again. So I think go ahead and then connect. So it's going to tell me success. All right, don't worry, sometimes it shows some other thing here. Don't worry, it doesn't show right now, it will show later. So just click on enable authentication, enable create user collection, right? So we're good right now. Then click on auto generate config files. You must click on that to generate your auto config files. Then you'll wait for a couple of seconds until it has finished, creating the config files for you. Basically, config is configuration files. So there's some very tiny bits of files that FlutterFlow needs to use in order to be able to make your project work out very well. So it was basically trying to auto configure it. Okay, so we're gonna select the initial pages. The initial page here is gonna be let's go to authentication. We want to use what we have been using, and let's just use this theme. This is going to be for our login, so we'll just call it login, and then click on create page. And then the next thing we're going to do is we will go ahead and set up the logged in page. This is going to be more like our home. So what's going to be our home? Let's make our home to be let's just create blank, right? So blank, and then we call it home, right? So let's not complicate anything for ourselves. Okay, so the home here is supposed to be the page your user gets to see. The home here is supposed to be basically for the client, right? But I didn't want to complicate things for us, right? I just wanted us to like create situations where when they sign up as a particular user and then they are trying to authenticate when they are signing in, right, they should be taken to the pages you want them to see. So eventually, if I told you want the client to see the home page, right, you can always change it. I'll show you all of that. So we'll go ahead and click on start building. We have a couple of errors here, so let's go ahead and delete some things which will help you take off the errors. If you refer to some to the videos I told you to refer to in the description below, you will see a couple of things that cause these errors, right? So I don't really want this video to be long, so I will try to just delete. I'm just deleting some basic things of this that we don't need, and then I will come to sign up and delete the same thing. Just delete these details. Yeah, so you just click on it and delete them. Okay, so then you come to here for the password side. You need to put max line to be 1 at least, and then for sign up, click the password and put 1 at least. So the max line has to have a minimum number. So like that, now we no longer have an error, because if you have errors, you will be able to run your application. So let's go to let's remove this, let's delete this, and put let's go to the widget tree right now, and then click on the logo container here, right, and add a text. So here it says hello world. This is going to be the name of our application, so let's call it multi-van. Okay, oh, I didn't write it well. It should be multi-van. Okay, so that's it. Then come here to the font size. Let's make it 36. Then font weight, let's make it bold, 600 bold. Primary text, let's change the color to white, and that's it. So this is our application now, multi-van. All right, so multi-van is multi-vendor. Okay, so now we have this and it's working. We have this set up now and it's good. So now the next thing we need to do is we have our home page. Okay, so we won't really dwell on this a lot. We can just change this to home. Okay, so let it just be there. Now we want to go ahead and create screens for let's create screens for, let's go get a screen for, what do I say, let's create a screen for, let's just do blank screens, right? The demo I showed you, I did use some templates, right? But we will need to do a couple of changes here and there, but I don't really want us to do like a lot of changes. So I just want us to do understand how this thing really works. Okay, so I will go ahead and then use a blank, and then this blank I will call it talent, right? So I'll call it talent. Okay, so this is it, talent. So here I will change this from page title to talent. Okay, so then that's it. I can go ahead and do one more thing. I can go ahead and, what do I do here? Let's add a widget, a text here, and say, yeah, just so that we can know that, okay, the person that logged in is whoever, right? So let's say we just pull this in a bit. 16, I'm giving a padding there, I'm giving a padding here on the top. Okay, so I want to say welcome. I want to say welcome. Okay, so then I put a comma, right? So now let's say, now this is a text widget, right? So I want to go ahead and wrap this text widget with a row, because I want to put another text on the right hand side of it. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it with a row, wrap widget. I wrap it with a row. That means I'm putting everything down inside the row, right? So we have welcome here. So here in the row, I'll click on the row, click on this add a child to widget, then I'll click to add a text inside. So another text gets up here, right? You see? So here I want it to be like the email of the person. So user email, let's say user email address. Okay. All right, so now it doesn't look like it's in the same position because we had given the other text a padding on the top, so we just give another padding here. Okay, so click this. Okay, so let's go ahead and give some padding here. Let's say 5. All right, you see? Okay, now later on we will go ahead and let's go ahead and make these bold, like maybe make it a little bit deep. Okay, so welcome email address. Fine, this is perfect. Let's go ahead and add one more thing to that. Let's add a button, because I want us to really focus on the functionality, right? Because I'm sure that you might have gone through YouTube trying to find this and you couldn't get it. So let's not focus. I really believe that maybe somehow you understand how to make your designs come out very fine or not. So and you just want to know how to you know, get this done like the correct way. Okay, so let's help you out with that. So I'll make my width 360. Okay, so these are like basic things that I'm doing, right? So I'll make these to be red. So no, sorry, I want the color of the fill color to be red. Okay, all right, so that's it. So talent, welcome email address, then this. Okay, we're good with this like that. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. All right, page has been duplicated. Let's click here and call this one client. Okay, so that is a client, and then we click here and change it from talent to client. I just went ahead to duplicate the page so that I can use it, and then we can do what we want to do with it. So we now have talent, we have client. Let's go ahead and duplicate talent again, and then here we can click here, change it to founder. Okay, so like that. All right, so now we have this. Okay, so we have this works for us, and so let's go ahead and change this to founder. Okay, founder. So we've changed that to founder. The next thing we need to do is, I think we're good now. We have talent, we have founder, we have client, then we have home and login. So we need just one more. That's the onboarding screen. So click on this and call it onboarding. I'm using blank. Okay, so onboarding. So I clicked on that. So here we can just say onboarding. Let's just say choose your role. Okay, all right. So now the reason for this particular page is because you need them to be able to click a button that will assign a particular value to the variables that you put in your database. Okay, that's basically how you make them to choose their roles. Okay, so we will go ahead and come to let's see, we're gonna come to, let's add some buttons, right? So let's add some buttons. Let's go ahead and say button. All right, let me give the button a padding on top. Let's say 16, then on the left 16, and then what else? Okay, so this button, right, I'm going to right click on it, then I will wrap it in a row. Okay, yeah, so I wrapped it in a row. And the reason why I wrapped it in a row is because I want to be able to center align it. Like I just want to put it at the center. Okay, so that's it. So click on this, and then now I'm going to click on the row itself. So I'm clicking on the row. This is the button, so this is the row, and I'm going to go ahead and then click on the center here, right? Either I use this, or I think preferably this. Okay, so here I change this button's name from being a button, I'll call it talent. Okay, so talent. Then here let's give some spacing, some padding below it as well, so 16. Okay, so yeah, it's fair like that. So I'll go ahead and right click on this, or just go ahead and say Ctrl D, so it duplicates it, then Ctrl D again, duplicates it. That's I have this same thing 3 times. So I'm going to go ahead and change this one from talent to client. Okay, then I will change this one from talent to founder. Okay, so now we have these 3 buttons now. So let's say this one, let me give a padding to this row and say this is 50. It's not even enough. 300. Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to be more like at the center. Okay, so now we have talent, we have client, we have founder, right? So I will explain why we need these buttons like this. So let's just give them different colors. So if you're a talent, let's say your color is, your field color should be maybe green, your fertile soil, something. So then clients, they're the ones that bring cash. So yeah, it's okay to give them that particular color. Then founders, okay, I don't know much about what founders, they're amazing people. So let's say this. Okay, so that's it. So we have talent, client, and founder. Beautiful. Okay, so founders are amazing people, right? So they try to create innovative solutions to problems, to different problems around the world, really. So here we have talent, clients, and founders, and I think we're done now. We are super done. Now, why did we create this? We want to create this because of the next thing I'm about doing. So what I'm about doing, let's go back to Firebase first, and I want you to go ahead and do a couple of things for a start. Let's go ahead and click on authentication. Click on authentication. Now we want to go ahead and then start our authentication so that users can create an account in our application. Otherwise, they won't be able to do anything in it. So we will go ahead and click here for email address, click enable, and click save. Now with these, we can now have users using our application. The next thing I need you to do, I don't want you to run into an error before we fix it. Come to storage and turn on your storage. Okay, so come to storage and turn on your storage. Click on get started. Let's use start in test mode, and then next, and then click on and done. All right, so just wait for a couple of seconds. It creates the default buckets for your project. Now if you don't go ahead and turn on your storage, you won't be able to create an account into your application, right? So because what you're doing right now allows you to have access to Google Cloud, right, where you get to store some things, and it's done for you for free. So it's currently setting up some security rules, and then I think it has finished. So you have this done for you. So we have authentication done. Let's go ahead and do one more thing, Firebase database. So we click on Firebase database and we get started as well. So we did Firebase storage, we get started, we turn on our storage. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I should have turned on my Firestore database first. Firestore database first before turning on storage, but I just skipped the entire stage. Okay, so now the thing is this, when this happens, the only thing you can do for real is just go ahead and create a new project, but try not to do that same mistake. I just made a mistake. You should actually turn on the Firestore database first before you turn on the storage. I really don't know why I mixed that up. So okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we'll go back here and just quickly do the whole setup thing again. So I will call it multi-van app. Okay, sorry I had to do that, but I hope you don't make this mistake, right? So I'm sure that you were not doing it simultaneously. I'm hoping you were not doing it simultaneously with me. Okay, so maybe you could just pay attention first, and then later on you can go ahead and then do it yourself, because I don't like editing my videos and removing the errors. I want you to see the error I made and how I fixed it. So because that way I want to remain real. I make mistakes too, you know. Okay, so and what really matters is not about the mistakes, it's about how you fix it after you've made them. So let's go ahead and copy the project ID here, because now our project ID is different. Okay, so we just need to go ahead and copy it and then take it to our application. Let's go to the settings of our application. I go here to the settings, I'll go to Firebase, and then I will remove this, click to remove, then paste my new Firebase ID. Now it's not going to work out, right? So because I have to add the users and permissions. So add member Firebase at FlutterFlow.io. Okay, so add as an editor, done, add member. Okay, now we've done that. Let's go back here and click on connect. It's connected. Regenerate config files. Please try to click on that so that it can regenerate config files for this new Firebase project, and then so you don't have any issue with your project. Okay, so while we are waiting for that to happen, let's go back to our multi-vendor. Let's go to build, then click on authentication, click on get started, and click on email and password, enable it and save. After this, we will go to build, go to Firestore database, and we're going to go ahead and say create database. Okay, so Firestore database before storage. All right, then we click on start in test mode, enable, wait for it to provision the Cloud Firestore. Now it is provisioning you a Cloud Firestore that has already been configured, right? The other one requires you to do some configuration. It's a little bit tedious to do that than to just work on it like this. So now we have our Cloud Firestore, just so that we don't have any errors at all. So come to storage, and then also turn on your storage, start in test mode, next, and done. Just wait for it. Now this will allow you to be able to actually store information inside the Firestore database, okay, still using your GCP. Okay, so but now that we had turned on the Firestore database first, we won't have any issue at all. Okay, so we just wait for it to finish setting up the roles, and we're back in business. Okay, so this is done. It has regenerated config files. Let's go back to our widget tree. We have everything that we need, right? We have the client page, the founder page, the talent page, the onboarding, we have the home and the login. Everything is fine. What we now need to do is what brought us to this place. So we will come here to Firestore, and everything works. So now we don't need to create any collection here because we had turned on authentication in FlutterFlow. So it will create our user collection for us automatically. All right. So but now there's something you need to do. Right, there's something you need to do. You need to first of all have the very first user. Now this is a very tricky stage. Yeah, so you need to have a very first collection here so that you can start tweaking some things here and adding fields to it. Yeah, you need to do that. Okay, so otherwise it's not really gonna work out. But let's see. Let's try it this way. Let's go ahead and try it. All right, so let's come here to Firestore inside FlutterFlow, and then this is the schema that has already been created for us. It's created automatically because we turned in authentication in FlutterFlow. So we need to add like 3 new fields here. And what are the fields? We're gonna add where is it? So we're gonna add a talent, a field called talent. Yeah, so it's gonna be a Boolean. Boolean is either true or false. So we will be doing some checking. we will check out whether the user is the talent. If it is true, then we should take the user to the talent page. If it is false, then we should go to the next option. All right, like that. So I will explain this like practically. Okay, so I'll go ahead and check this down. So we will say client, and then click on here and say Boolean, and then check as well. And then the last one here is founder. So yours might be anything. So you just go ahead and then just look at how I did it, and you can do it for your own business. Okay, so like this, we have all of these done, right? Set up already. So we will come here to, let's go ahead and do some setups now. Okay, so if you observe, we've not done anything in Firebase apart from this basic configuration. Now we need to come here to we're going to come here to the login screen and start doing some configuration. So this is the sign up. This is the very first stage, right? They have to sign up before they ever try to sign in. So when they're signing up, what is really important to us is the field that they put in here. Don't worry, this is already taken care of by this team. All right, so we will come here and click on create account. What happens? What are the actions that should happen when they click on this create account? Now that's what we want to set up. So you click on the button create account, and then you click on action, then you click on add action. So what do you want to happen? You want them to navigate to the onboarding screen, right? So you don't want them to go straight to, of course, this is where you need to like be very, very delicate. So you want them to navigate to the onboarding screen. So we send them to onboarding screen first. That's it. Okay, so we're done with this particular situation. We send them to onboarding screen. And now, where is the onboarding screen? This is the onboarding screen. When they are here, we tell them choose your role. I don't know. I think this should be choose. So we tell them choose your role, right? So they should either click talent, client, or founder. They can't click either of these simultaneously. So you can just say, now let's start setting the rules. So if they click on talent, right? If they click on talent, right, let's go ahead and set the action for it. So we click that, click on action, and then say add action. Now we want to go ahead and then change the field in the user database, right, that says talent. We want to change it to true. All right, so if you can remember here, if you come here to the schema, right, for users, we have this particular field called talent, and it's a Boolean. That means it's either true or false. So now we want it such that when the user clicks that button, this particular field for that particular user becomes true, so that when they are trying to sign in, we can use another condition, even else statement, right, for them to now get access to their system. Don't worry, this is going to be very simple. Okay, so we click on talent, and then we will go ahead and we will go to we're gonna go to, where is it, Firestore, and then we say create document. That's how you do it. And then what collection are you considering? So we are considering the users collection. And then now this users collection, now which of the fields? So I click on field. Now I want you to go ahead and actually create all of this. Okay, so I want you to create let me see. First of all, what I'm considering is, let's start with the first thing I'm considering. I want you to create the field that says hold on, let me confirm this. Okay, let me confirm this. So let's here on the onboarding screen, so we have the explore now. So let's see, I clicked on this. The very first thing here is it goes ahead and sets the field, the email first, right? And sets the founder, sets the email, and sets the founder as being, look at it, it sets the founder as being true. So that's basically what we're doing. Then after that, it's going to navigate to the founder screen. Okay, so that's the same thing that we want to do here. So it sets the email first, then it goes ahead and sets the field as true. Okay, so let's do it here. So we click on the talent, and then we will go ahead and set the email, right? We want to be able to save the email so that we can be able to authenticate it, right? So we'll click on specific value, change it from specific to variable, click on onset, and then go to authenticate user and say email. Now the thing is this, we're trying to say, okay, now when you click on this button, right, I want you to go ahead and then save the authenticated user's email in the field in my user database that is designated as email. I want you to save the email there, right? Then apart from doing that, I want you to go ahead and add another field. So I will go ahead and click on this. We don't have display name, so we'll change from display name to talent, right? Now this is going to be a specific value. We want it to be a specific value, not from variable, so we want to change this from false to true. So when you go ahead and save the email, simultaneously please also check the field for talent and turn it to true. That's what we are saying here. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, so I think there's an error somewhere. It says Firestore can only create a user's document via an authenticated action. Okay, let me see. Firebase can only do this. Backend create document. Hold on, let me confirm what's happening. Backend create document, user details, in this. Okay, so I think I skipped something there, and I would like us to just fix it at once. Okay, so the thing I missed is that you're supposed to go ahead and then create something else, like another collection, right? So if you see here, I actually have two collections. Yes, I have the user collection. I also have the user details, right? So we have the name, email, image, talent, client, and founder. We also have that detail here, right? So what I want you to go ahead and do is you need to create something similar here, because this is basically how you're going to go ahead and then create your authentication. Now, the reason why we have to do this is because you see that error that we just saw there. It says here that Firestore can only create a user's document via an authentication action. Now, this is the main reason why we need to go ahead and create another collection, which we will call user details. All right, it will have a similar schema like the user schema. Okay, so let's go ahead and come over here. Let's come over here and then create it. Let's say start collection, and then we'll call it user details. Okay, so user details. We'll click on next. Auto ID. We will say let's say email. All right, email is a string. Add another field. Let's say email. Let's say talent. Talent is a Boolean, so let's keep it as false always. Like initial is false. Let's say client. All right, client is going to be Boolean as well and false. And then founder is going to be Boolean and false. Okay, so that's it. We can go ahead and add one part. Let's say image. Let's just go ahead and say image. We won't necessarily use it. And then I think that's it. So let's see. So we created that collection. We called it user details, and then we have this schema. Okay, so we will go ahead and come to multi-event, and then we will create a we're going to create a collection here. It's going to be now let's see something. Now if you come over here, you see that this is a user details. This is a user details. So this is a different collection. This is a different collection. None of them is a sub collection. Okay, so we'll come here, and then what do we do? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here it is. So we'll go ahead and come here and create another collection called user details. It's not a sub collection, mind you. So we will start from scratch, and we will say email is a string. Okay, and then we do this. We'll say image is a photo path. We're just doing this. There's no problem at all. Let's say talent. This is really what matters to us. So talent is a Boolean. We do that. We say client, right? Client is a Boolean. Okay, then we say founder is also a Boolean. Okay, so now we're good. Now let's go back to the widget tree and then do some changes. So when we click on this, right, we don't want to go ahead and then use this collection called users. We rather want to use the collection called user details, because the user details is going to be the part that is not going to give us any issue, and we don't need to do further authentication and all of that, right? So it happens right after authentication, so we don't have any problem at all. That's why we no longer have that error. Okay, so yeah, we have here email and talent. So we've already done our setup for this. It's safe. So okay, so we come here to talent, specific value, that is okay as well. Then for client, we will come here to client, add an action and say we want to go ahead and create document. The collection is user details, the add field, email. Let's go to from variable on set, we go to authenticated user, email, done. We go ahead and add another field. We just want to, we're not adding everything, we just want to do just the row here. So here is for client, so we click on client, and then specific value, yes, then we turn it to true. All right, okay, so and then we're done with that. Click on the founder, come to actions, click on add actions, go to Firestore, create a document. The collection is user details, add fields, email, fine, not a specific value but rather from variable. Click on set, go to authenticated user and pick email, add another field, and then we will not make it an image. Okay, so we will go for founder and specific value, we say true. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now that we are done with that, what we just need to do is we need to go ahead and now this is it. Look at the flow now. They come to the login page, right? Then the sign up, right? When they sign up, they are ushered to the onboarding screen. They are ushered to the onboarding screen, right? And then when they go ahead and click on the talent here, it authenticates and it should take them somewhere. There should be another extra action. So if they click on talent, it should take them where? The talent dashboard, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and open the editor flow here and click the plus icon here and add another action. Okay, so this action now is going to be navigate to, we say talent. Okay, so we're navigating the person that clicks on talent to the talent screen. Okay, so we come to the client, we open the editor, we click the plus button to add another action, and then we say navigate to, we say client. Okay, and we're done with that. Then we come here, we click on the founder, we click to open the action flow editor, click on the plus button, click on add action, and then we go to navigate to, and then we navigate to founder, and that's it. Now we have just one more thing to do before we are done with this tutorial. Just one more thing and then we are done. Okay, so how do we really complete this? Now we have done it such that if someone goes ahead and signs up and signs up, right, it will take the person to this particular screen where they need to choose their role. If they click on talent, it will take them to the talent dashboard. If they click on client, it will take them to client dashboard. If they click on founder, it will take them to founder dashboard, while simultaneously ensuring that their roles in the user details, like, you know, the user base is fixed, right? So now let's see what we are going to do here. Now if we go ahead and then this is going to work if we go ahead and do it like that. But now the next thing is, let's come here to the login part, and this is where we need to use logic. So we click on sign in and then we do some basic logic here. All right, brace yourself, it's going to be a bit bumpy. So we click on sign in and then we go to actions here. Now let's go ahead and open the action straight up first. So we go to action. Now we want to hold on. So when we click on the sign in here, then we open it, right? Now we add an action. Now it's supposed to go ahead and let me take you to what happened here. Let me take you here to the previous design I made so that you can understand what we're about setting up. Okay, so when we come here to the login page, okay, so when you click on the sign in here, right, it has like 4 actions. Okay, so don't be alarmed. Here it says when you click on the sign in, right, it goes ahead and does authentication, and then it logs in. Let me click here so you can see what happens. So authentication logged in, it uses the email provider and the email address and passwords. Okay, so let's see. Let's come here to the multi-vendor side. Now let's delete this. Okay, so we deleted that. Now this is our sign in button, right? This one is already set up. Here is the sign in button. Now we want to go ahead and then add all those features done for us. So we will come here and say Firebase authentication, and then we say login, right? So login. So that's why we now have auth login. Then what providers are we using? We're using email. Email field, we will say let's come here to email. This particular one here, this particular email here is called email address, you see. So we will go back to this one is called the password. So we'll click on this. We just needed to make sure we note that. So you click on this and change to email address. The password is password, and we're done. If you check out, that's the same thing that happened over here, because I want to ensure that we're in the same place. Auth login, and then this has happened. So now that simply means that we want to log our user in first, all right? But now something is going to happen first before we go to somewhere else. Now we go ahead and click on open here. We've done the very first action. We want to add another action now. But now it's not an action. We want to add a conditional. So we click on add conditional. And then what condition do we need to add? So we click on conditions here and say single condition. Now we will go ahead and click on the first value here and click on onset, and then go to authenticated user and look for the roles. So let we go to talent and say if talent is equal to what? If talent is equal to specific value and it is true. Okay, so that's it. If talent is equal to true, talent is true in the database. All right, after we've authenticated that user, then after it is true, we need to give an action to it. So we click here and add an action. We want you to navigate to the talent dashboard. Now, but if that is not so, if it is false, please let's add another conditional. Okay, so we add another conditional. And then we say go to conditions and say it's going to be single conditions again. The first value in this scenario, click on onset. We go to authenticated user. We scroll down. We look for the next one, which is going to be client here. So client, if client is equal to, you click on the second value, click on onset, say specific value, change this to true. If client is true, is equal to true, right? Then we give it an action, right? We give it an action. So we will say add here, add action, and say navigate to clients. That's navigated to the client screen. Then the last one, we add another condition, and then click on condition, single condition, and then we click on the first value, and then click on this, and we say authenticated user. We scroll down, we're looking for founder now. So we click on founder, and say if founder is equal to specific value and it is actually true. Okay, so if the value is true, let's go ahead and add an action and say navigate to founder. Now what this means is that after you've authenticated here at the beginning, now navigate to talent, right? Let me show you what is going to happen. So if talent is true, if it comes here, it has already authenticated user, all right? That means it shows, it has checked that there's a user in the database. Okay, so it now goes ahead and checks the field, all right? The field for it to check different things. The field here is if the talent is equal to true, then navigate to talent. But if it is false, go ahead and then check if client is equal to true. And if client is equals to true, navigate to client. If it is false, right, go ahead and then check for founder if founder is true. If founder is true, oh, okay, we made an error here, sorry. Let's delete this. Yes, we made an error there, so delete this. If found, that's why it's always good to double check your stuff. So if founder is true, we add an action. We're going to navigate to founder. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so now we go ahead and close. Now we are done with the entire project, and that is it. Okay, so what else can we do right now? What else can we, like, you know, complete right now? Now we are done with everything. Let's go ahead and then check our application and see how it works. Okay, so I will go ahead and then click on run, and then we can go ahead and test application to see how it works. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying the lessons, and if at all you're enjoying the lessons, just kindly click on the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and of course you can give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Drop a comment for us if you have some comments. And what else would I ask you for? Okay, so if you have a particular question or a tutorial you would want us to create, just go ahead and add it. If a lot of people maybe like your comment, all right, then there's a huge possibility that we will create the tutorial. Okay, so that is it. And this is going to be, we're going to test our application and see that it works. Then from there we will finish it. So summarily, we're trying to create a multi-vendor setup for FlutterFlow application that also uses Firebase, of course. So the user gets to register as a particular role, right? So in this case, a talent, client, or a founder. And then when trying to sign in, right, the user will be able to sign in and be taken to the exact page that he or she is supposed to see, depending on the role that they're registered for. So that's basically it. Now, this particular knowledge will help you to build platforms like let's say Fiverr, if at all you're looking forward to building a freelance talent marketplace, or you want to build something like Upwork, or you want to build something like Jumia. Okay, so Jumia, or even AliExpress. I think that's aliexpress.com. So any of these that you want to build, it will help you to build it, right? So this is AliExpress. They have like different vendors who are selling different things on this platform, so it's multi-vendor. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our application and see how it works, and then we end the lessons. All right, so it's gonna take a couple of seconds and then it will show it up. So this is it, multi-ven, and then we will go ahead and click on sign up, and I will sign in here and say okay, and then I will click to create an account. It's supposed to take me to the onboarding screen. You see, it brings me here to the onboarding screen, so I can choose on talent. When I choose on talent, it brings me to the talent. Brings me to the talent dashboard, where if I click on this, it logs out, right? So if I click on this, it doesn't log out because we didn't do the settings for logout. Let's quickly go to our multi-ven. Let's we should have done that, but we didn't do it. So let's click on here, then add an action, add action. Let's say Firestore authentication, scroll down, log out. So we've done for talent. Let's do it for founder. Click on this, click on add actions, add actions, go to Firebase authentication, scroll down and log out. Okay, so then let's do it for client, because I want us to test every single part. So let's say log out. Let's go ahead and then add action. Let's say Firebase authentication, scroll down, log out. Okay, so we will have to go ahead and then like run the application all over again so that can be affected, but that's it. So how we are going to test it is this. We're going to come here to the the collection. Let me just reload this. Let me reload this. Okay, so we're gonna come here to the collection, and here you will see this is the initial document that we created. This is the one that just got created. Okay, so email is true. Okay, it didn't store an email here. It didn't store an email here. Why is that? Say storage. Okay, so we've actually gotten a document has been created, but we have some errors here, right? So it doesn't give us what we want, right? So this is actually us having like some very serious issues. So this is a serious issue, right? Because we have the user details here, but we don't have the email. The email was not stored. Okay, so the email was not stored. And if the email was not stored, we're gonna have some issues trying to log in. Yes, so let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and come back first before we test the application. Let's come back first to our application and see what happened where it was supposed to store the email. So here, right, so on the onboarding, so talent, let's open the account. It says create document, user details. Let's click on this and say create document, email, and email from variable, the authenticated user email. Okay, so okay, it's gonna take a couple of seconds before we can figure this out. So here we have this, create a document, then we navigate to this. So it has been able to turn our talent to false, to true rather, but here the email, it's from variable, right? And then the variable is from our authenticated user email. So what happened? Client, the same thing. Client is good. Email. Okay, let's just go ahead and then just touch it one more time. Here, authenticated user email, confirm, and then founder. I'm just trying to troubleshoot to see what happened, because I can't really like explain what happened here, because it is supposed to give us the result we need. Okay, so but let me go ahead and then do some cross-checking here. Okay, so let's say here it does that for us. Let's come here and say auth, and then condition. We're fine with all of this. We did all of this. Authentication. Okay, so let's go to sign up, create an account, this, create account, then navigate to onboarding. So on the email address, create, password, create. Okay, so let's close this. I'm just trying to verify that we've done everything that is supposed to be done. Let's go to login, and let's say sign up. Let's go to account here. Oh, okay, all right, I've seen where we made an error, right? So let's click here, and we did directly on navigate to onboarding, and that's like the problem, right? So you don't go ahead and tell your users to navigate directly to onboarding. We need to create a document, a user document first, before we can navigate to onboarding. So let's go ahead, add another action here, and then the action is going to be where is it? Firebase authentication, create account, account provider is email, email field is email address create, password is password create, and then all of this, I think it's fair to leave it like this. Now when we have done this, we don't want to navigate first before we create accounts. Let's go ahead and use this to push it upward. So this happens first before this. Okay, so that's like it. So I think with this now we have fixed our error, which we can go ahead and then test. So I will. Now the thing about my videos is I don't really do so much of editing to remove the errors. No, I want you to see me make the mistakes, and I want you to see how I fix the mistakes, because that's how you're going to learn. I don't want you to always panic when, oh, what did I just do? I just made something break and I don't know what to do. Go ahead and then try to cross-check a lot of things and see how to make it work. That's it. That's basically how you learn. All right. Sometimes you have to like make these mistakes so that you can fix it up, and of course your experience gets even better. Okay, so now we have that. We can go ahead and I will use another email to create another account, and then we can just go ahead and then test what we need to test, and then we're good to go. Okay, so once again, if at all you've not subscribed to the channel, please just click on the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and then also give us a thumbs up to like the video, drop comments if you have some comments, and we will be sure to help out if at all you have any problem at all. Okay, so we're waiting for this to load up so we can finish up. Okay, so just a couple of seconds and then we are done. Okay, a recap again, right? Just one more time, since we had that issue. We were trying to create a platform that can allow us a multi-vendor setup for FlutterFlow and Firebase that can allow us to sign in users, to different pages depending on their roles, right? So for these, we have like 3 different kind of users: the talent, the clients, and the founders, and we want to send them to the pages that concerns them. So I think our page is done. And we've done all our logouts as well, so we should be able to play with it. So what I want us to do now is let this blue icon load, and then let's the blue icon load, and then okay, so here it is. Okay, this is it. What I want us to do now is I want us to go ahead and sign up. We're gonna sign up in your account, but before we sign up, I want to show you what we're gonna do. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to change the. Okay, now let's sign up first before I show you what we're gonna do. So Nocode Africa HQ at gmail.com. Okay, so I create an account. When I click on create an account, it does the actual creation of the document in the database, right? Before it now takes me to the choose role. Then I click on talent, right? When I click on talent, it takes me to the talent. Now, yeah, we're supposed to put this email address. I think I'll just still do it before we finish finally. So I'll click on logout. Now, hold on. If I go ahead and then say Nocode Africa HQ. All right, let me just copy that. And then I sign in. It's going to take me straight to, oh, it doesn't. It's supposed to take me straight to, that means there's something wrong somewhere. Okay, so it's supposed to take me to that. Fine, we have hit another error, which is perfectly fine. Let's go to our user, our Firebase, and see what is happening. I want us to, get it work together. Okay, so we have, fine, we now have the user details, right? It shows here, right? Fine. And then here on the user details part, so it says that the talent is true, okay? But now there are some things that are not working for me. There are some things that are not working for me. It shows it's true, but it's not working the way I want it to work. So let's go ahead and then check check a couple of other things, right? So I will go ahead and then come here. I will say Firebase. We're going to go ahead and do some inspecting here. We'll inspect the previous project that I did. Okay, so let's say, let's click on this and then check it out. So where is it? Okay, so which of this is it? Okay, so this is uiux HQ. Okay, so I think we will go back here and then go to uiux HQ. Okay, so multi-event. Was it multi-event? No. Okay, so here it is, Stockholm. Okay, so let's go to Firestore database. I want us to inspect the elements together and see what went wrong and what went right. Okay, mostly what went wrong. So we have your user details. So we have all of this. Okay, and then we have the users here. Okay, now everything is actually stored here in the users. Everything is stored here in the schema of the users, but here in our multi-event, we have the following things are the only stuff that are stored here. These are the only things that are stored here. So we need to figure out what's going on. All right. So let me refer back to the project here and say, so when it's created account, fine, it creates an account, and then it takes us to onboarding. Let's see. It takes us to onboarding. We're fine with that. Then we will go ahead and go to onboarding, right? Now in onboarding, let's click on this button and see what happens here. So let's say it's founders. So it's user details. Backend create documents, user details, email, and founder. Okay. And then let me see this one. Get hired, user details, and that as well. Okay, we don't really have a lot of errors here. So here, then we click on this, user details and client. Okay, so where is the issue? The issue is gonna be here. We come to here, we have our users, we have talent, Boolean, file and founder. Then we also have here talent. Okay, let's see. Name, email, image, and 3 files in the user details. So name, email, image, and 3 files. So all right, so it can always be funny, really. So let's go for user details. Let's see. Now we basically want them to be stored here in the user details. So what I'm gonna do right now is, if we come here to Talcon, right, so we have these fields. We have these fields here. Let's see, do we have the same thing? Yeah, this is basically how I troubleshoot, right? So talent, client, and founder, right? And then okay, so here we also have talent, client, and founder. Then here on this other side we have name, email, image, talent, client, and founder. So I don't think it doesn't have to do with the schema has been. If we go ahead and then click on this, let's see. Let's go ahead and then validate. Could it be that the schema we defined here in FlutterFlow doesn't match the schema we defined in Firebase? Because that might be a challenge, right? But I need us to just figure that out. And I know you're also anxious to see how I fix this. Okay, so yeah, I think that's like the trail I want you to see. Okay, so let's just wait. Okay, it says it's successful. So What is going on then? Let's see. Let's come here. We have these done. Let's go ahead and we have these details in schema. We have these details: talent, client, founder. Okay, and then here we have email, talent, and all that. Everything is the same here, but it just happens that we have some issues. And okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and troubleshoot again. This makes the video longer, I know, but it's okay. We will figure it out together. None of this is the issue. The issue is actually going to be with the login. Okay, let's say on the sign up part, let's see what happened here in the sign up. So auth, create an account. All right, create user document, collection is users. Okay, and then after that we go to onboarding. So is that what we have as well here? So okay, so I hope you're not confused. I'm actually switching in between a previous project and the current project. The one we have here is a multivan, the other one was called Talcon. Okay, so don't be confused at all. So let's see, login, create account. Okay, so collection is users as well. Password create, and then we're good. Now I want to understand why it only stored. Okay, wait a minute, multi-vendor, because it's not going to be authenticating the, let's see, what did we do? Okay, so I think that might be where we had the problem. That might be where we made the mistake. So the sign in here, this is sign in for multi-event, so we click on it and let's click and open and see what we did here. So login, authenticate, email address, password. Okay, so we're good with this, like this. So when we click on this, we did the talent. Let's see, we did conditions, single conditions. Okay, so let's see what we did over here. Okay, for signing in, because I think this is where we have created an account, right? But it's not showing, it's not giving me what auth login. Okay, email address, password, talent, everything here seems to be okay, right? Everything here seems to be okay. We're like doing the right thing. Okay, so now, and I think what really matters here is now the onboarding, because it is during the onboarding that we are supposed to do some creation, right? So when we click in here, so we create. Okay, so we create backend call create document. So let's go here to our onboarding, click on this, user details. User details, email. It stores the email, right? Look at it, guys, look at it. So it stores the email. This is multivan. It stores the email, but it doesn't store in the user details, right? So in the user details, we only have here and here. It doesn't give us what we need. Here we're supposed to have some fields. I think we're supposed to have some fields here. So let's go ahead and just add, let me add a field here randomly. Okay, so talent. All right, so this is going to be a Boolean, right? So let's say Boolean, right? So talent, just leave it there. Let's add another field. Let's say client. Boolean. Okay, then let's add another field, founder. Okay, because I think this is most likely like the issue here. So now this is our user, right? So if we just turn off one, let's turn off one to false and update, and then turn off another. No, basically we're turning off two to update, so we have only one that is true because we have been focusing on true in our logic. So let's come here and let's run it just one more time. Okay, so let's run it one more time and see what happens here. I don't know, I think this is like quite different from my other tutorials, right? So I am definitely not going to edit this out. I want you to see how I struggled on it until I got it right. Yeah, so I believe you might even find this even more interesting. Okay, so because sometimes when you're trying to get this thing done, it gets like really hard, right? So while that is running, let me just cross check whether everything is fine. So here, interactions, okay, so on Talcon I have client and the user details. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let's just wait for this, and then we will try to sign in, and then we will sign in and then see how it works. We've already created an account, so accounts exist, so we'll try to sign in and see how it works. If it can take us to the different screens, and then if it does, then we've succeeded on it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and see what we can achieve on this. Okay, now this is bringing me to home. Now that is not what's supposed to happen. I think it's because my session is still on, and by default it takes me to somewhere else. Normally if the user is logged in, right, so you're supposed to like either be taken to home by default or something. So that's why we had that home. I don't think we should have that anymore. So assuming we try this and sign in, it takes us to talent, right? Because here, if you come to our users, sorry, no, that was Talcon, this is Multivan. So the talent is the only one that is true, so it brings us to that. So if we log out, and then let's come here to what is it called, Firebase, change this from being true to being false, update, and click on this and change this to true. So don't forget, it previously took us to talent, now it should take us to founder. Okay, so we click on this, it takes us to founder. Right, so you see here it takes us to founder. We can actually log out, and then okay, this other old one has finished running, and then we can go ahead and then test it again with client. Let's turn this okay, client is true, hold on. Okay, so let's go here, founder, let's change founder to false, and then update it, and then change this to true. Okay, so with that we should see client. Okay, so if we sign in now, we should see client. Okay, so that's it, and then we can log out. All right, guys, so that is basically the whole process of how to, you know, get your to create a multi-vendor you know, setup in FlutterFlow and Firebase. I know you did see lots of errors in between and how I fixed it up. I really hope that this motivates you, you know, to not give up whenever you have like your own personal issues while building a FlutterFlow Firebase project. Okay, so and then I also hope that this was really helpful to you. If you have any issue in comments, just drop it for me in the comment section and I will be sure to attend to it. See you in the next video.